looking for somebody, not just anyone. And I haven't got the answer. Hi, Mary.
Hey, Doug, how are you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Great. Thanks for talking with us here at Music Junkie Press.
You're welcome. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can, perfectly.
Okay, good.
Thank you. You know, we're very excited about this new project, KXM. Can you tell us a little bit about how it started?
We met at Ray's house.
Uh-huh.
We had a party for his son who was 20 years old, and George and I happened to be at the party, and Ray showed us his new drum room that he had just soundproofed and set up so that he could record his drums in, and George said, "Hey man, let's make a record." Next thing you know, a record. I mean, it was that quick. It was a whirlwind. One day, whenever anybody got time, we were in the studio making music. And somehow, through a labor of love and everyone being a part of it, we got the record done and mixed, mastered, and a record deal and a video.
Wow.
A lot of people involved, and it was a beautiful labor of love.
It is amazing. It actually is. I mean, I got to tell you, once again, you bring your signature bass tone and your vocals out. It's amazing. It's incredible. I mean, there's one thing about when you play that you just have the signature voice that comes out of your bass. I don't know if I can explain that right, but it's perfect.
Thank you.
And it comes out so well in this. And I mean, the single, Rescue Me, that's going to be amazing. I watched the video, and it's just, you guys really mesh together with this. You can tell it's a fusion of friends coming out with love through the music.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of love in this camp, for sure.
It is. I mean, now, do you guys plan on doing a tour maybe in support of the album?
Oh, yeah. We plan on doing definitely. We don't know when. As soon as we can figure out everyone's schedules, because everyone's pretty busy, but it's a plan, and we have to do it. We've got to support this record at least at one tour.
Yes.
And we'll be doing more music anyway. I mean, we're not done.
Yeah, that's why it's funny, because you definitely have guys come together and bring each of your own signature sounds to it. But it's definitely something that we want to hear a lot more of. I mean, it's definitely, we're looking forward to many more records out of this one.
Awesome.
I think also, it's interesting because you guys take us on a great ride with this album. You got everything, even a ballad in there that's a smoking one too. Never Stop.
Wow, thank you.
Now, how about the story behind that deep dark tale of Sleep? That's a great song.
That's a true story. Very true story. My mom got married when she was about 50, and about 2 years later, he was gone. And I came home one time. My mom lived in Chicago, and I was living in Texas at the time, and I came home to visit, and we were having coffee one morning, just sitting there talking in the chair. I said, "Mom, why did George leave?" He said, "Well, one day we both got home from work, and he said, 'Cook me some food, woman.'" And my mom said, "Well, I'm tired too, so why don't we go in the kitchen and put something together, and it'd be all great." And he goes, "Woman, you need somebody to slap you upside your head." And he said, and my mom said to him immediately, "Do you plan on sleeping tonight? Because if you hit me, your mama won't recognize you at your funeral." He left.
Wow. Oh, man. It is amazing. Oh, that's an amazing story. I mean, it really, that song, though, if you put it out there so perfectly well, that must have been. Now, how was that actually recording it, though? Did it bring up, I mean, is it pretty emotional as well, recording that song?
No, because as long as I've been writing songs, I've been telling stories about my life and the craziness that goes along with it. Everybody's got craziness in their family. I think that if everybody just wrote about the craziness in their families, they would come up with lyrics for years.
Very true. Sorry.
It's just another story. I mean, the second verse kind of moves me when I hear it, only because it's my aunt, who my dad's brother married her, and he beat her up so much that he almost killed her. And she was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. She had blonde hair, blue eyes. She just looked like a goddess. And he was just so mean to her. And she stayed with him until my cousin, her son, was 8, and she kicked him out because then because she wanted him to support his child and to be there for him. And that was, what a strong woman to do that. And that's why I said in the line, she put up with. He got away with it because she put up with his shit. One time he beat her so bad that they did find her out in the woods, almost dead.
Wow.
yeah, my dad and his brother were not very nice people.
That is, I mean, it's definitely thought provoking lyrics, and it's just very emotional. And the interesting thing is, a lot of people though are going to so find comfort through the music, which music does. It heals us, it helps us, it inspires us. It's amazing. I can definitely see that song is definitely going to, touch a lot of people.
Good. I like to sing and touch. I like to sing about things that most people. Let me backtrack. I like to sing about things that are common. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to talk about.
Yep. And that's the point. The set part is that so many people suffer these things in silence because nobody does talk about it, but they can relate to a song.
It's unbelievable. And, and through my career, I've gotten so many messages from people who say that those lyrics have kept them alive or got them through a hard time, or to the point where I even got one message that the guy said, my wife put down the gun when she heard Gretchen.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. Or this other guy says, he was a transgender, I guess, and he was a woman stuck in a man's body, and he came to see King's X one time, and I gave a speech about believing in yourself in the song that we do. I just do it, I just rabble about stuff on stage, and he was going to kill himself.
Wow.
And the next time I saw him, he came up and said, thanks for telling me that to believe in myself. Don't give a shit what people think about me. I'm still here. I was going to kill myself until you did that. So, to me, that's the most important. I mean, I love making music. It's what I do. It's what I will always do. But when I hear those stories of how people, it's affected people, that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm here for. Because people affected me, the things that they said and did that changed my life and gave me life. Mm-hmm. I give it back.
And you're doing a beautiful job at it. I mean, do you remember maybe even a time or even a particular song that might have helped you through your hardest times that you might have related to?
They all do.
Mm-hmm.
They all do. I mean, especially the Dogman record I was in a really deep depression. And those songs, I just poured my heart out into those songs to the point of crying, putting bass lines down. It was a real hard time for me. I was dealing with something that was, for me, was devastating. I mean, maybe somebody else would go, I'll get over it. But, we're all different. So, and I'm an artist, and I'm super hypersensitive. So, without my art, I think I would be one of those guys who goes to McDonald's and blows everybody away.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has to have an outlet somehow, and hopefully it's a positive outlet.
That's music definitely is that way, because I feel that definitely without music, a lot of people, they just silence their emotions as well.
It does.
It's I've loved this album. I got to tell you, one of my faves too is "I'll Be Okay."
Oh, good.
That's a song for me that I went back to several times to listen to, and it was like perfect timing listening for it and everything. And it's great.
That's true, because at the end of the day.
Yep, it is. I'm really excited about everything too. Now, how about you? Now, if I could maybe peek into your iPod or playlist and see, is there like an artist or a song that I'd be most surprised maybe at finding in there?
I don't know, because I listen to such a variety of music.
Uh-huh.
I mean, some days I'll pull up Delta Blues, and some days I'll play Muddy Waters all day. Some days I'll play, jazz. I'm really into the jazz metal right now, Animals as Leaders and Periphery and bands like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
A little bit of everything. That's good. I like that. It's funny because with the younger generation, we're trying to get them to be much more open to also all styles of music as well, and it's great. We went to a couple shows, and you're seeing some of these young kids who they're spanning the opening bands to not just be, let's say, a metal band. They'll put in some blues, rock at the beginning, and it's funny. These kids are really starting to take on like we used to. They're loving it. We need more of that.
I run into so many 20-somethings that, I mean, some friends of mine, there's 3 of them, and they're 21 years old, and they call me and say, hey, Uncle Doug, want to go out drinking with us tonight? I'm like, sure. Bond drinks, we hang out, have a good time. And it's so nice to hang out with people at that age, because you get to hear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in the car, and they're playing Black Sabbath. And I'm going, dude, you guys playing Black Sabbath? They go, we can't go nowhere without us. And I'm going, wow. They don't even sound like Black Sabbath. The band does nothing close.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just really shows me, and I got another friend, he's 23, and we were hanging out and talking one day about the music, and the bands that he loved are the bands that I grew up with. And I was just going, you gotta be kidding. So it's awesome. There's a whole new world out there, and I can't wait. I would say in about 8 or 9 years, there's going to be a resurgence of some really great music that we haven't heard before from these kids, putting all these influences together. Because, my influences are a certain amount, and so I put them all in my music, and it comes out done.
Mm-hmm.
These kids have more influences now. There's more things that they're impressed by, because I'm not young and impressionable anymore. So, at 60 years old, a new band comes out, I'm not going to pick my guitar up and try to copy it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
But these kids, they've got so much information, so I'm just so excited to hear what they're going to come up with. And also, these kids all play everything. In the old days when people like me, we'd have one instrument and we played it all day long.
Yeah.
But these young kids, they'll get on the drums for a couple hours and get a guitar for a while, and then get the Pro Tools and start writing a song. And I go, what the hell?
It's amazing, isn't it? It is. I see it with my son as well.
Cool, and you get it.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like, I think it's funny because I used to ask him about it. Like, how come you guys don't get your guys together? And he goes, well, they're not as dedicated, so I'm going to do it myself.
Awesome.
Until you find the right people, Now, with technology, it's advanced and changed so much in just the 20 years. I mean, is there something that maybe from today that you wished we had when we were growing up young?
The only thing I wish we had was, I wish we could catch an analog sound.
Uh-huh.
Because there was an analog sound, there was something
Yep.
warm and special about it. There was more high end and more low end. But the sad thing about it is, nowadays the way things are mixed, how they rip-wall everything,
Yep.
compressed for iPods, computer speakers, it's a whole different world. So, I accept the fact that things have changed, because that's progress. Things will continually change. But I do miss the analog kind of vibe.
It's funny because when you take, I remember years ago, my son got into our vinyl collection, and I think maybe he was 9 or 10 and stuff, and popping in here, and he's just like, he has these songs on his iPod, of course, too, and it's just like, wait a second, goes back, puts on the vinyl and goes, this is so much better, and we're like, yeah, we've been telling you that, and then he brought his friends over, even put some little test for them, and they're here listening to Motley Crue, let's say, on their iPods versus the vinyls, and they're like, totally different sound. He's like, you're picking up so much. And it was funny because they started to appreciate going to the record stores more, going out and realizing, they're just getting a little bit of it.
I tell you what, I think that it might be the new thing that's going to happen, because I'm told now that records sell as much as CDs in the marketplace.
Wow.
Even though downloads just blow everything else away.
Mm-hmm.
But people aren't buying CDs anymore. Their kids are buying records, and they get it.
Yep. I'm so glad to see that, because that's one thing I'd like to see really come back and stay.
I heard they're buying cassettes, too, which is, I don't get it.
Yeah, that I don't get.
You know that.
No. How about other than music? Because music definitely is a huge part of your life. Do you like to cook?
I am a great cook.
You
I
are?
don't brag about anything that I do.
Mm-hmm. Really? Well, what's your signature dish? If we were to add you to our Music Junkie Press cookbook, what would be your signature dish?
Oh shit! I would say spaghetti.
Ooh.
Spaghetti's known for miles around.
And everybody loves it. Now, let's say, Doug, lastly, is there something, if you could go back and talk to your 14-year-old self, what advice would you give to yourself from back then?
I think I would to listen to what other people say and not discredit everything that people told me when I was around that age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was so excited about living that when someone would tell me things, I just didn't want to hear it. I didn't care. The only, but don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is just advice.
Yep.
Things that really mattered. My cousin told me when I was 16. He said, "Doug, it's a terrible thing to do the thing a man doesn't want to do for the rest of his life." That stuck with me.
That's beautiful.
Other things that people would say, like, you know, you need to take vocal lessons. Your voice is great, but you probably would take some lessons. It would help. I don't need no vocal lessons. I'm fine. So you should try doing this, or you should try learning these kind of chords, or that. I don't want to do that. Do this. So, you know, I'm saying I was just really stubborn about things. I was just completely focused on what I wanted to do. And as a result of it, you know, I had a hard time. I was in this show group called Spurlos. It was sort of like Up With People back in the 70s. It was like a American Idol, but it was on wheels.
Uh-huh.
And they picked a bunch of kids, and they made them sing and dance and do stuff. And I joined up with it because, you know, I've been singing all my life. Anytime there was an opportunity to get up and sing, I did it. So if there was an American Idol, I would have been on there a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know if I would have made it or not, but I would have been there. But anyway, I was in this group back in the 70s. It was the first time I ever left home and went on the road. And I was having a little bit difficulty just fitting in the program. And this guy came to me and really chewed me out and told me I need to get with the program and blah, blah, blah. And I quit. Here. And, you know, I should have listened to him, and maybe he did what he said, because he was probably trying to help me out to better my talent and what I was doing, but I just didn't care. So, again, I would say if I was 17, I would just tell myself, man, give people a listen. You might not agree with them, and you might not do it, but at least listen. Yep.
It's actually good words of advice to anybody of any age these days.
And the other thing, too, is I am a severely insecure person, and I've had to learn to deal with that all my life to the point where all day long I have to go down the list and say that doesn't mean that's me. That doesn't mean you're stupid. That doesn't mean you're ugly. That doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. I have to do that all day long to get through that mental thing that I have. So whenever somebody would tell me I was doing something wrong, I totally went into this panic mode, that complete shame mode, so I didn't want to even hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't take it. So, but I've grown up, and so I probably felt that you're a severely insecure person. So light out.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I'm really excited to share the music with everybody. We only got a few more days here left till the release. We're going to have everybody picking it up online if they haven't pre-ordered it yet. Very excited to see you and come back to town. I mean, I think first time I saw you was maybe '89 in San Francisco at the Stone, long time ago. But I look forward to seeing you with KXM. And I thank you for the great music you've given us, and it actually affected my life as well. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. See you soon. I said hi.
I will. Thank you. He'll be excited. Thank you. And I look forward to everything, Doug. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.